It was early in the morning, 4 a.m., and it was dark, and I just finished a warm-up run, and Larry Nellis, the head of the summer camp, was preparing to go up and start the lifts. He asked if I wanted to go to the top of the peak of Kokanee and watch the sunrise. And then we would do the morning maintenance, start the lift, set the courses, grab breakfast, and through the darkness we climbed to the peak. I pushed the pace to get more ski time, because to me, even one more run meant making the most of every moment. We watched the sun wash our face, and we ate breakfast, waited till the sun hit the bottom of the upper handle lift, and skied down to start it. We finished the course setting, side slipping, and went to the top and sat on the rocks, waited, and talked. I'm Jungle Jim Hunter, and you're listening to 831 Living Your Best Life, and we inspire participation, communicate precision, empower performers to podium on this podcast, and we hope that you will tell your friends and relatives to go to their favorite podcast provider or to junglejimhunter.com or to YouTube and subscribe, download, click on like, rate, and review. Larry Nellis is one of my 831ers, probably one that influenced me the most and helped me the most. I'm going to talk all this week about Larry Nellis and Newton's laws of gravity and the laws of the heart, and the contrast of the two. When I met Larry the first time, I was 13, and he gave me the 100 challenge, which meant that you had to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, bench hops, and push-ups in a minute, and be able to ride a bike 100 miles a day any day of the year if you were ever going to get to wear one of those national team sweaters. Larry had seen how hard I worked, but had seen me improve gradually and thought I needed to do more and could do more, teaching me to go to podium literacy from just physical literacy. It became a grilling of thought, and he injected oxygen into the thin air, firing a flame in my chest that morning, changing every perspective on what I was doing. The grilling started. Is it your name, your number, the coach, the weather, the uniform, your family, the competitors, the country that makes you go faster? No, I said. I knew what he meant, and I knew what was coming because he said it to every racer, and I could see it in his face and hear the emphatic voice ringing in my ears. Do you understand Newton's laws of gravity? He asked. Do you know how to get them to work for you? Newton's first law, the law of gravity, makes us all equal at the start, and it pulls everyone the same way. It never changes. No athlete, number, uniform, country has an advantage. You must be prepared to give as much at the last gate as you do in the starting gate, so you can't take advantage of Newton's first law of gravity unless you know how to make it work for you. If you're not ready to start, you shouldn't start if you can't meet this expectation. The pull of gravity does not care. It doesn't care who you are or what you are. It doesn't matter what language you speak or what country you come from. Wow, the Olympic pilot light in me just became a flame. The explosion inside said, get ready, because the oxygen was about to be added. I had those doubts just like every other racer I heard say the same things, the what ifs, and we had to fight through them. Gravity pulls us all downward. Always. It never pulls us up. It pulls us down. But when you think you could do better, if you had someone else's name or a better number or a coach or a weather or uniform or better equipment or a different body or came from a different country, or worst of all, if you had more money or competitors were just easy to beat, gravity has nothing to do with it. The heart has both up and down, however. The heart, the laws of the heart gets dragged down, but you have the power to lift it up. I needed training, but it was my heart that was dragging me down, and I knew I needed to change. One of my favorite books came to my mind, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, and I had thought if I had been born into a different family, or if I had a better number, if I had better coaches from Austria, or if there was no wind when I ran the course, or if I had better light, maybe I could win. But I'd heard other racers say that. I'd heard lots of people say that. Some said if I was taller or smaller or bigger, if I came from those countries. There on Kokanee Glacier, it made me realize I was a Canadian boy and I was equal to every competitor, and it was my training that got me this far. But it would be more discipline of paid attention to the heart and emotions, where I would be able to take that downward pull and present it with an upward pull, and there would be a difference. And I could train that and become more disciplined. This needed more training than all the other components put together. No kids had arrived yet, and I was glad we had more time to talk. Larry took a breath, smiled, and he had this little smirk on his face, and he realized that I realized what he had been trying to teach me these past 3 years, and he desired to teach it to every racer, coach, and parent, but few ever understood what he was really speaking to: the heart. There are 4 more parts to Newton's laws of gravity. I knew them, and I heard them from Larry before, but it all connected at the greatest level of need, and that was at the heart level. That early morning, I knew the same power that I felt when Dad had asked me at 10 years of age to seed his favorite field, and did so in 3.5 days, and then walked the field a month later when the crop was up and made sure that there were no misses in the field, that every acre was seeded and there was no plug drill runs. Dad had placed his hands on my shoulders and looked up at me with tears in his eyes and said, "Son, do you realize what you did? Do you realize how incredible it is that at 10 years of age you can do what I do? Do you realize how great you could be if you just decided to do it like you seeded this field, to do it to the best of your ability?" Dad had taught me that the best of the best of the best start by following the best of the best as a servant, and then become an apprentice until they either can or cannot do what their leaders do. Larry Nellis had just ignited the Olympic flame at that level of my heart. You could align yourself with Newton's laws of gravity. You could be fit enough to go from top to bottom, as fit at the finish as you were at the start. But if you are telling yourself at your core, at your heart level, at the Olympic flame level, that you can't because you just blew out the Olympic flame inside you by your doubts that crept in, well, then you have no chance to say you can do it. It's easy to say, change your thinking. But if it's a habit, it doesn't change. If others have told you you can't under pressure, it will show up. Then when it counts, you can't count on it not blowing out your flame. Larry was one of the 831 people that was more than kind. He turbocharged my flame, and the connection between Newton's laws of gravity that morning and laws of the heart all came together. Thank you, Larry. Larry Nellis ignited the flame in hundreds of racers in alpine skiing in Canada. As a flamethrower, he was one of the best of the best of the best. Tomorrow and the rest of this week, we will continue with Newton's laws of gravity and the laws of the heart, and I hope I can ignite the flame in your heart to be an 831er in your life, one that will work harder at your laws of the heart and laws of growth and the flame that burns within you than you will at all the other components put together. Anybody can learn how to ski, but only those who work at training their heart to climb up when gravity pulls you down can turn it around. My quote for the day is this: we always move in the direction of the most often repeated current dominant thought. What are your dominant thoughts today? What do you think most often? You can or you can't? Are you going forward? Or are you staying the same? I thank you for listening, and I hope you will have grown and will be living your best life the next time we meet.